Okay, so what is the Venus Project?
If you want a world without war, unemployment, poverty, hunger, prisons, police, you have to redesign the culture. There is no other answer. You can't work it out between the systems. It has to be a totally different culture. So the Venus Project,
Go ahead.
the Venus Project starts out with the assumption that the only way that I know of is to declare all of the Earth's resources as the common heritage of all the world's people. And if you understand what that means, it means the end of separate nations, the end of territories, so that all of the Earth and its resources are shared by all the world's people. If few nations control most of the Earth's resources, its minerals, metals, water, energy, you're going to have trouble as long as that system prevails. And as long as you use money, you can pay off senators, you can build all kinds of corruption. The basis of money is one of the most corrupting influences in the history of civilization. We must move toward a resource-based economy in which all of the necessities of life is available to all people, regardless of race, culture, or any other factor. This is not a technical elitist government, nor any other kind of elitist.
Okay, great answer.
I was just trying to show that the mic is over there.
Okay, what is a resource-based economy?
A resource-based economy is a very different system that they use today. Today they use money. It's a monetary system. A resource-based economy does not use money, barter, credit, servitude, taxation, or any other exchange. We make goods and services available to everyone without a price tag. We use the methods of science applied to the way we live. Today we have the technology to produce abundance for everyone all over the world, but we don't think in those terms. Our social design has not kept up with our ability to produce abundance. It hasn't kept up with our technology. And this is what we're proposing in a resource-based economy.
Okay. Now,
And
what are
I was going to say, what's mandatory in that is to do a survey of what we have and base what we do on an actual survey of materials, personnel, factories, the technology, the resources, and until we update things technically, till we build new cities.
Right.
Political systems were good 100 years ago. They no longer apply.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, what are the negative effects of money?
What are the negative effects of money?
Well, you can pay off senators. You can lend money to people at interest that puts everyone in debt, which I think was okay like 100 years ago, but it's no longer relevant. We now have the capacity to produce in abundance and make it available without turning out products to wear out, break down, like cell phones. They're only good for a short time. Everything we make in the future will be the best that technology can provide.
When you use money, you have elitism. The monetary system produces and is based on keeping things scarce. It's detrimental to produce a lot. The prices go down. We're plundering the earth for profit. The main goal is wealth, property, and power in a monetary system, and not the well-being of people. In a resource-based economy, it's the well-being of people while preserving the environment.
Exactly. Okay. Okay, so how will we get the powerful elite to change?
I don't think you have to worry about that. What happens is the banks were failing. A lot of large automobile companies were failing because they couldn't keep up with foreign competition. So what our president did is he took funds from the government and bailed out the banks and the companies that created the problems in the first place. So people are elected not to change things, but to keep things as they are.
The elite will not look for another alternative while they're doing well, while they're paying their houses, while they're sending their kids to school, while they're getting whatever they need. We're not asking the elite to give up anything. We're saying this system is falling apart, and there are no other alternatives being presented out there other than trying to do patchwork within the system. It's the system itself that's corrupt. We feel we can update it and do much better for the earth and for the well-being of people. So what will make the elite change is when people don't have the purchasing power to buy the goods and services turned out. This is the end of the monetary system. This is when industries automate.
Okay. Now, what is the most important aspect of the project?
Education. That we make major motion picture to show people what life can be today, not 100 years from now. In the next few years, we can build a fantastic civilization without the need for prisons, police, or any of the old systems they use today. Remember that soldiers are killing machines. We don't go to another country to bring democracy. This is propaganda. We go because they have oil or materials we need or cheap labor. The future is concerned with preservation of the environment, restoration of the oceans, educating our children without putting them in debt, doing away with banks, loan institutions, and all of the professions that are parasitic, that don't contribute anything to the well-being of civilization. If we had our way, we would take all the soldiers, send them back to school to become problem solvers. That's what it's about. How to bridge the difference between nations, how to produce abundance, how to make food available to all people so there's no longer hunger and starvation. We don't touch the problems at all in this society. We talk around the problems.
Great answer.
Most of the wealth, most of the energy goes towards war, making wars. It's one of our biggest industries, second to banking. This will bring us nothing but killing each other and polluting the earth. It just brings resentment for future generations. But as I said, all of our what they call scientists go towards making military and war machines, most of them. We don't consider them scientists when they can be manipulated and used to do this through countries.
They're over-specialized. Scientists should be at the forefront of social change. They should ask questions not about particle behavior or whether Venus oscillates in its orbit. The real problem is what makes war, what makes hatred, what makes serial killers, what are the conditions that make aberrant behavior. And to get rid of that, that is the problem. If you ask scientists, any field they work in, whether it's electronics, mechanical, structural engineering, they use a physical reference. In politics, there's just a bunch of opinions from a bunch of people that have no knowledge of technology or science. I don't ask you to take my word for it, but I do ask you to ask your politicians, how can you increase agriculture without exhausting the soil? How can you prevent automobile accidents? How can you prevent war? They don't know. They don't know a damn thing. Like I said, they were good 100 years ago, but they no longer understand how the culture works. They should know social anthropology. They should know the history of civilization, the evolution of cultures. They know nothing about that. So it isn't a question of electing decent people. The question is to elect people that know how to handle things so that we live in accordance with the carrying capacity of the earth. You know what that means? If the earth has the resources, we can do certain things. If we run out of resources, we can't do it.
Right.
It isn't money that people need, or jobs. What they need is access to the necessities of life.
Right. Because they would have no reason to steal. Even if you look at the bad neighborhoods of, say New York City, if they had access to things, they wouldn't steal, and they wouldn't sell drugs.
Of course.
Our system is based on people that use old folkways, primitive methods of thinking, and old moral structures, and they try and make laws to counteract the problem while they keep people in terribly squalor conditions and debt. They don't look at the causes of the problems. They blame the individual.
People are shaped by culture. If you don't understand that, if you were born in Australia as a baby, you'd say, "How are you, mate?" In other words, your dialect, your facial expressions are picked up from environment. If you're brought up in the deep south, you might say, "I'm gonna give me a nigger and I'm gonna kick his ass." That's not you speaking. That's the effect your environment has on your values. It's so obvious that if you're brought up in Germany, you speak with a German accent when you came to America.
Okay, so now, how do we get from this system to a resource-based economy?
First, people have to lose their homes, their cars, their jobs, and find it difficult to get another job before they begin to look for new ideas. People do not look for new ideas until they themselves are hurt by the culture. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. They have to be up against it. They have to lose confidence in the people they elected. They have to lose confidence in the fact that politicians know nothing and do not know how to solve problems. They make laws. The only laws that count are natural law. If you don't get enough nutritious food or enough sleep, you get sick. Not man-made laws. They're artificial. They're control devices.
And how we get from here to there, people are really not educated enough emotionally or intellectually to be able to look around and evaluate what are the conditions that cause the real problems. They, as I said, they try and do patchwork or make laws. So what people have to do who understand this direction is learn about it as much as they can through our website, through the Zeitgeist movement. Join the chapters, the Zeitgeist chapters. They're all over the world, all over the United States. There are chapters, many chapters in different countries, and they're helping to advocate the direction of the Venus Project. So and many of them are reading the books on the books list and talking amongst themselves as to what the significance of the different books are, how it relates to this general direction. So first they have to learn about this direction, be able to speak about it, be able to answer questions for people, and then talk to people about it and present it any way they can. People who write music are writing music about the Venus Project and the Zeitgeist movement. They're writing books. They're doing street advocacy. They're doing artwork about the Venus Project and the Zeitgeist movement. So any way you can get it out would be great.
Yes, that's the reason I'm doing this here, because a lot of my family and friends haven't heard of the Venus Project, so I'm just trying to spread awareness and do my part.